first implemented immigration restriction in the United States in 1924 with the National Origins Act. That act didn't cover the Western Hemisphere, but you did have administrative restriction of immigration.
Nothing is new about this. This is as old as apple pie in the history of the United States, where every new immigrant group is distrusted by native whites and by previous immigrant groups.
These are relationships, these are migratory flows that are part of our economic system, that are a product of the ways in which we produce goods and services in the United States. And so the combination of the increase in border enforcement and structural changes in terms of the gender makeup of the professional class in the United States has led to a need for an unauthorized workforce that also has children attached to it. And so those children are the dreamers, the kids who came here by no choice of their own because their parents came in order to make a living, and who now find themselves having spent almost all their life in this country, yet not being able to fully be part of the American educational system, political system, social system.
People had migrated to the U.S. from El Salvador. They had, I guess, painted this, they had portrayed the U.S. in a different way from what it actually has been for me, the experience. Like my father, he had to work, and they were paying him minimum wage or less than a minimum wage. Workers, migrant workers, were being exploited. So they're not necessarily living the American dream.
My mom had already been here for a few years when my brother and I came. She had a friend who was already here, and the friend told her, like, hey, look, like, if you go to this side, like, there's jobs, you can, you know, basically laid it out, like, you can have more shit here. And my mom, having two kids, like, you're gonna do whatever you need to do to make sure they eat. So my mom just went for it. I don't even think she thought too much about it. She just went for it and did it.
Like, they pretty much, like, sold everything that we had in the Philippines and to come over here. And I remember how my parents made me, like, choose certain, like, clothes that I was gonna bring, and the rest was just like, well, you gotta leave it here because you never take it.
I don't think that many of us, under the circumstances that they are living under, would thrive.
Right now, their need to pay full tuition, even if it's in-state tuition, given the dramatic increases in tuition levels in the last 5 years, has kept many students from even trying to enter college because they're not eligible for federal loans, they weren't eligible for any sort of aid, and many come from low-income families. It was impossible to imagine paying $30,000, $35,000 a year out of pocket in order to get an education.
What the AB 130 and 131 enables us to do is to support our in-state students who happen to be undocumented financially so that they don't face really what sometimes seems like insurmountable barriers in order to complete their education.
I mean, one thing about the DREAM movement is that I think just shining the light on the plight of these students.
Because the way it was written and the entire principle of it is wrong. I mean, we're proposing to invest, is the key word, $42 million to start off with on students that, A, don't have the legal right to be here to begin with, and there are very few basic rules. It's like the Federal DREAM Act. What is it but a backdoor amnesty? What did Jimmy Carter say? Life is not fair. A, you're here illegally. B, my daughter went to college. She had to work it in and out. She was carrying 22 units. So tell me about having to work hard to get through. Like I said, we're not wealthy. We weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth.
Well, I realized that resources are very limited, and that sometimes the American dream of some people is at the expense of others, you know?
I feel like when I came into the United States, I started questioning, and that's how I really found out that I was undocumented is because I started to question, and I started to pretty much look for answers.
There's a lot of support in terms of money, but I think we all compete for the same money, that even that can get stressful, so money's not even the perfect solution. Of course, that's where it starts. I'm not saying we don't need money, we need hella money, but it's more than that. Help, the help we need is beyond that,